Hey guys, welcome back for another video. My name is Tanya for those of you that are new here, and I am a watercolor artist and a furniture painter, so you will be seeing both types of tutorials on this channel. But the holidays are right around the corner, and I wanted to do a quick and simple holiday watercolor for you. You could give it as a gift, or you can frame it and keep it for yourself. So I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so for this painting, I've got my Canson watercolor paper. I've got my Winsor watercolors, and I'm going to be bringing in a little bit of these metallic watercolors at the end. It's by Arteza. I just got them in the mail a couple weeks ago, and I've used them several times. I really like them, so I'll be using that at the very end. And I also have, I'm going to be using a pen, a permanent pen, and also I have Arteza watercolor brush pens. So I pulled out a couple greens for the bristles on the tree. Okay, so if you're following along with me, I'm going to be using a burnt umber, and I'm going to be using a couple different shades of green. It doesn't really matter what shades of green. I'm using more of an olivey green and more of an emerald green. So first, get your paints nice and wet. And I'm using, I think it's a number 3 brush. And you're just be coming in and doing your branches first with any shade of brown you like. And try not to let your lines be too straight, because twigs on a tree sometimes, have a little curve and wiggle, and so you don't have to be so straight about the branches. So where your 2 branches meet, you're going to want it to be a little bit thicker, and then just taper it off as you continue on with your branch. All right, I think that is, no, you know what? I'm going to make one more. Let's make another one come down this way. And then this one can bleed right off the page. You know what? Actually, I'm going to want another one coming straight up now that I did that. There. There, that's good. All right, and then if you want to bring in a little bit of a Payne's gray, you could do that too. Maybe just kind of where like the branches meet, just have it be a little bit darker. So I'm just dabbing in a little bit of Payne's gray onto my brown. That way it gives the branch a little bit of depth. So you've got some lighter areas and some darker areas. And I'm going to go ahead and dry this, and then we can start our bristles. Okay, so I went ahead and I dried the branch. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start picking up, I believe this is sap green. But again, just pick up some kind of olivey green or Kelly green. Doesn't really matter. And then I'm still using my number 3 paintbrush, and I'm just going to be starting on one side of the branch and bringing all the bristles down. And I'm going to kind of curve them a little bit. So they're not going to be sticking straight out. They're going to be kind of curved. And then I'm going to do the other side. And then kind of have them meet in a point right at the beginning here. And you're going to want to do that to all of them. If you wanted to go ahead and pull in a different green right now, you totally could. I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and then I'm going to come in with a different shade of green. And they're just quick, short strokes. And you can start anywhere on your branch. If you wanted to start your bristles like right in the middle of the branch, you could do that. And if you wanted to start your bristles more towards the end of the branch, up this way, you could do that too. The only thing is, if you do one side, you pretty much want to do the other side. And you're going to want to leave a little bit of space between them. You don't want them to be too close together. And these would be perfect for like little holiday cards. if you want to mail one to somebody or just put it even on a present as like a gift card. That'd be kind of cute too, because then they could always take it off and frame it if they wanted to. And actually that's what I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to be framing these. So I'll show you what that looks like too later. So you're going to want to go ahead and do all your branches. And then I'm going to come in with a different green, more of like a forced green. And you're going to just want to go over what you just did, but even if you cover up some of those white spaces, that's totally fine. So see how that gives it a little bit, you see a little bit of that sap green under this green. And I think this is a Winsor blue. I'm sorry, Winsor green blue. And then if you wanted to add a few little bristles, even to the main branch here, you could do that too. And you can add a little bit of that first green. And you could do them wherever you want, even up here if you want. I'm not gonna do too many though. Kind of like it just like that. And I think I'm going to be pulling in a little bit more of that green on this branch. Just bring it down a little bit more. There. So I'm going to go ahead and dry this, and then we're going to go ahead and make our little ornaments. Okay, so now that I dried that, I'm going to go over, still with my number 3 brush. I haven't changed brushes. And I'm going to take a little of this Winsor red. You could do any color ornaments you want, but I'm going to have a couple of them hanging down from this branch. So I'm just going to do a circle. And if you want to make your ornaments different shapes, you could definitely do that. I'm just going to do a generic circle. And I think I'm going to do, let's see, let's have one here and maybe one up here. And you can make your circles as big as you want. Just kind of have it be a little bit proportioned to your tree or to your branch. And then I'm going to put a little square up on top here because that's where the ornaments can be hanging from the branch. And I think I'm also going to bring in a little alizarin crimson just on one side here. Let that bleed in a little bit. Gives it a little bit of a shadow on one side. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and dry that and see if it needs another layer. Okay, so I didn't dry them completely, but I could see already that I want another little layer of that alizarin crimson on here. So I'm going to go ahead and add that on one side. There. All right, and I'm going to pick up my Arteza brush pens, and I'm just going to use them kind of like markers today, just to give my bristles a little bit more depth. So I'm just going to come in and kind of do what I just did with the regular brush. I'm just going to give it a little bit more detail. And if you want to add a little bit of water to this, you can. I am not going to. I'm going to kind of treat these as just markers today. And I'm using pretty much the same greens that I did already the first time. And you can skip this step if you want to. You don't have to do this step. It just adds a little bit more detail. And this is a little bit of like that sap green color. Okay, so it just makes your branches a little bit more full. All right, and now I'm gonna take this Archival Ink pen here, and I'm gonna put on like the wire that the ornaments are hanging from. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of a loop on the ornament, and then I'm gonna bring a straight line up, and I'm gonna loop it around just like that. I'm gonna do the same thing to this one. Make a little circle, a little half circle right there, and then loop it around. All right, now I'm gonna be moving on to, I've got a number 10 brush here, and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of my metallic watercolors now. And these are the Arteza metallic watercolors. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of a blue, a light blue. And if you wanted to do this at the beginning of your painting, you could do that too, but you could just carefully go around your branches here. And you could do it as, well, first of all, you could do any color you want. I'm picking a blue. You don't have to pick a blue. And second, you could just do it as light or as dark as you want. And I'm gonna leave some of the white showing through too. I don't want it all blue. Now, if you wanted this completely solid blue, then you probably would have wanted to do this step at the beginning. And be careful not to go onto your ornaments, especially if they're still wet like mine are. Just kind of go around them a little bit. There. All right, so I'm gonna dry this. Actually, no. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go back to my number 3 paintbrush, and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of a metallic green and go over some of the bristles too. Any green you want. I'm doing kind of a lime green. And you don't have to go over all your branches. It's just wherever you want a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of that metallic color to show through. And I think I'm gonna do a little bit on all of my branches, because I really like a little bit of sparkle, especially if this is gonna be a gift tag, or I'm gonna frame it. Then I just want a little bit of a sparkle on my painting. And see how my paper is buckling a little bit? It's because I didn't tape down my paper, and that's okay because I'm gonna go ahead and blow dry this, and I'm gonna put it in a frame anyways. So to me, it doesn't matter. But if you want it to lay flat, especially when you're painting, you're gonna wanna tape down your paper. All right, and then I'm just gonna move it around a little bit so I could see if I've got my metallic everywhere, because it shows better in the light. And I think I do. So I'm gonna go ahead and dry my little red ornaments, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of a pearl on top of those. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit this metallic pearl. It's just like a white. And I'm gonna add a little bit on the lighter side of my ornaments, just so it's kind of like a little highlight. There. Just like that, just a little bit. All right, and I am going to do a little bit of a splattering. You don't have to do the splattering. You could just leave it like this if you like, but I'm gonna do a little bit of splattering of gold. So I'm taking my number 10 brush again, and I'm gonna get the metallic gold nice and wet, pick up enough of it. And then with my other brush, I'm just gonna kind of just tap it like this, and you're gonna get little gold splatters everywhere. or whatever color you choose. You don't have to do gold, but I like the gold because I'm putting this in a gold frame. There. So I'm going to go ahead and dry this, and then I'm going to show you once it's in the gold frame. Before I add this to my gold frame, I forgot to do a little bit of shadowing with the pen on my ornaments. So with the same pen that I did the wire here for the ornament, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make these little lines and go around my ornament. Only halfway though, only on the shaded part of the ornament. And you don't have to do this step. It just, to me, I like when there's a little bit of black detail on a painting. So all that's black, and that's the black pen on my painting, is the wire and just a little bit of shadowing on my ornament. So I went ahead and I made 4 of these, and I framed them in these gold frames. So that's why I chose to do the splattering in the gold. But if you had silver frames, maybe you'd want to do your splattering in silver. That's totally up to you. So I framed them all in gold, and I'm going to be selling them just like this. So I just wanted to show you how to do a quick, easy little painting. You could, like I said, you could frame it. You could give it to somebody as a gift. You can use it as a gift tag on a present, and then they can frame it if they want to. So it's just to give you some little ideas of what to do for the holidays. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you liked it and learned a little something. And if you did like it, please give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a comment in the comment section. And if you want to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing. Have a great day. Bye.